In this video, I'm gonna make the same drawing on my iPad like I normally do, and then also on paper, like a caveman.
What's that supposed to mean?
That is really condescending.
All right, I'm kidding. Not about what I'm gonna do. I am gonna do that, but not the caveman thing. I have no issues with working traditionally. I don't think one is better than the other, but for me, it's really all about convenience. I like how easy it is to make adjustments. As a professional illustrator, it cuts out so much of that process where I can just work directly on that file, I send it, I can make changes. But one thing that happens when you work digitally is sometimes when you're busy and you do a lot of work, you get an eye twitch like the one that I've had for about a week and a half now. It's driving me crazy. So I thought, hey, maybe I'll do a video where I force myself to work on paper for the first time in a very long time. Maybe that'll help my eyelid. What do you think? Can you see it moving? All right, so I'm gonna do the sketch on my iPad because that's where I'm most comfortable. I want to do something that incorporates both lettering and characters, creatures, or whatever, just to sort of touch on all the areas of things that I draw. So I decided on this phrase, running on vibes and deadlines. I either have a deadline where I gotta get something done, or I'm just sort of feeling it out and doing whatever I feel like. It's about ADHD. I'm thinking big lettering in the middle, running on vibes and deadlines, and then some creatures around the outside. So let's see how it comes together. So to figure out the overall composition, I'm gonna start smaller so that I'm not having to worry about the whole composition. So I'm just gonna do like a little square like this, and then just sort of kind of block stuff in. So I'm thinking maybe like vibes could be pretty big, like this, running on, and some sort of like banner, or maybe like on could be below it. And then this is just sort of like an overall shape, and then we can just sort of like put little, characters, maybe a little cup of coffee down here. That's the overall gist of it. Deadlines is on an angle. Coffee cup, like sitting down here. And maybe he's putting up a little peace sign because he's a happy coffee cup. You gotta vibe out these wiggly letters. I'm just sort of like curving this banner above that little burst. And like on will be there, and then it's just like running. We're getting somewhere. The balance is just like a little bit off. Like I think this text box here is gonna be too big. I think because running is the first word in the sentence and it's smaller than everything else, I want it to like start at the highest point, like the first letter, to sort of help lead the eye in so we don't miss it altogether. Feeling mostly okay with this overall direction. I'm gonna tighten up this lettering and then we can bring some characters into the mix.
A few minutes later.
The lettering is in pretty good place. I just wanna sketch in some other characters and other stuff. I don't really know exactly what I wanna put on here, but I wanna just lean into vibes. I just wanna vibe characters. I don't even know what that means, but I think we want a mix of excited characters, some bummed out characters, just a mix of emotions and fun. Different kinds of characters, monsters, who knows? Right off the bat, I think it needs something at the top to sort of balance this. Something and just maybe a guy who's just sort of a little crazy. Like maybe it's like my eyelid that's twitching, and like this is that, and this is me. This is my twitchy eyelid, and just sort of like, right? Okay, put okay there. Okay? What? Are you okay? I'm okay. And then we could just have like a little he's like, he's just like unsure. I want that coffee. Give me that coffee. Those are yelling lines. I don't know, maybe a little cloud. What if it's like something sitting on the cloud and they're just so happy because they're floating on cloud 9 looking up at the vibes, and then their feet are coming out, right? Little bunny. Right? We'll have another guy over here who's also unsure. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna tighten this up a little bit so it's not as loose and chaotic, and I'll report back to you. So this is my sketch. We're gonna make this twice. See which one's better. It's probably gonna be the digital one because working traditionally, you know, I need all this stuff. And I don't know. So I'm gonna transfer the majority of my sketch onto this piece of paper. This is the sketch, but I printed it out bigger, just the middle part, because I wanted the structure of the lettering and I can sort of improvise the other stuff, and I couldn't print it out big enough for this. So I'm gonna do an old transfer technique that I remember, where you take graphite and you put it all over the back, and then I need to stick it down to this, and then trace over it with a ballpoint pen. So there's a lot of steps when you're working traditionally. But this is Vine charcoal? No, I think that's gonna be a mess. We gotta do the graphite thing. So it's an eraser? I guess this. See, I need transfer stuff. This is gonna be a nightmare. I already hate this. Why are we doing this? This is too hard. Should we try the charcoal? Like, I'm already gonna make a mess. Like, look at this. I already have stuff on my hands. Maybe I will become zen with this traditional mark making thing soon. It's just wild that I'm gonna have to go brush my brush. I'm gonna have to go wash my hands. Can we get this ASMR? Is this gonna make a mess on my paper? That's one question. I don't think that's ASMR, that's an awful SMR. I'm gonna just blend it in a little bit. Are we off to a good start? Look at my fingers. I gotta go wash my hands. All right, so I got some painter's tape that I'm gonna use to hold this in place so when I'm tracing over it, I don't inadvertently shift it. But I'm gonna put this on my shirt to make it a little less aggressive. Sometimes the tape can end up like peeling. Pro tip, when you're recording something, don't run upstairs as fast as you can, wash your hands, and then run back downstairs if you don't want to sound like you can't breathe. I really hope this works. So I'm gonna use a ballpoint pen here. And I guess we'll just start up here, trace over this. All right, let's check it out. It's working. It's a little messy, but it's working. I'm gonna trace over this. All right, let's see. Forgot the ampersand, but I think we can wing it. That messy stuff. It didn't get this too messy. I'm hoping I can use a little bit of an eraser and it'll clean up this other stuff. But I mean, isn't the beauty of traditional the imperfection? I just hope it doesn't mess up the ink. So I'm gonna be doing this with Posca markers, mainly because I have a bunch of them. Where's my pencil? See? This is what I'm talking about. Missing tools? On my iPad, I just gotta select the brush I wanna use. This guy at the top has, one of his eyes is bigger and it's got the lower eyelid thing. That is me in my eyelid twitch that I complained about earlier. In case you were wondering, that's me IRL. I don't know what this guy is. He's just sort of like a shape. Okay. So then this banner I had wrapping down like that. Like, woohoo! Can you believe it? Celebration! What a vibe! It only has one eye in the middle. I wonder if that's a reference to my twitching eye. Which, like, maybe it's gonna turn into one of my eyes is just gonna fall out of my head. I wonder if like you know, when I'm working digitally, I can just like undo things until I get it just right, but maybe there'll be something about not being able to do that and just sort of leaning into what I get. I have a feeling it's just gonna make me not happy with it, but we'll see. I'm here for the journey. I will say the pencil, there's a little bit of pencil ASMR happening here. But like, I don't like how messy the paper is from my transfer, but I think that would have happened with graphite anyway. They're like sitting in a cloud and then they got their little legs coming out the bottom. It's a vibe. The other thing is we gotta like decide on colors. I'm thinking I'm gonna just do this whole like back area behind the vibes yellow. I don't even have smoothing. All right, I can certainly see the graphite through this, so, you know, that's good for being able to like trace, but maybe not good if it doesn't go away in the end. I wonder if any of you are watching me use markers and be like, well, that's cheating too. Look at this. I don't get that in Fresco. Oh boy, look at this. Also, I could paint bucket this if I was doing it digitally. All right, I'm gonna try to not complain anymore and just sort of feel the vibe of this. I mean, I guess there is something satisfying about it. Last time I used traditional materials was when I was doing that giant mural, and this is so much smaller, so that makes it a little bit more, well, less of a pain. I'm gonna enjoy this. You know what? That's what we're doing. I'm gonna have fun until I'm not happy with how something looks. I think this marker is a little bit chewed up from, I used the yellow to transfer my sketch onto the wall because the background of my mural was yellow. All right, I got the yellow background down, and then I had to go get coffee because it was already feeling like a lot. I feel like I look like a tiny, like weird proportions, but what's happening is because of this setup, I had to sit on a little, I'm sitting on an ottoman, if you will. All right? We have limited colors that we can work with, and I've got them here, and now I gotta figure out like what to do with them. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and make this running banner pink, because, you know, why not? I already sort of wish I did that star in pink, but this is good. I have to remind myself that the sketch is pretty rough, so I need to like tighten up as I color, because I'm used to working the other way where I do all my line work and then color. But because I want the line work to like pop, I'm doing the color first, and then I can do the line work on top of it. I gotta say, these markers are a little bit beat up. You know, that's another aspect of the whole thing, where it's like, when I work digitally, my tools are always in perfect condition. I should have used like Copic markers or something where I could blend colors, but I did not do that. I feel like this makes more sense for my style anyway, because my work is pretty graphic and I don't do a lot of like rendered colors or gradations or blends. I'm getting like chunks of ink or brush tip. I don't know what it is. I'm just sort of like willy-nilly going around and coloring, sort of like how I do digitally, even though when I do it digitally, I know that I have the ability to change it afterwards. I don't really have that ability here. So hopefully I'm happy about these decisions after the fact. One thing that I'll do when I'm working digitally is like with these characters, I would sort of go in and refine them and kind of dial in their features a little bit and give them, maybe make them more expressive, which I can't really do here because, you know, all right, so now I gotta decide what color I'm gonna do the vibes lettering, because that's a crucial thing. It's like, the focal point of the whole thing. We only got one chance to get it right. Currently deciding between these two, but I feel like I can't really tell based on just this. This one's already got orange on the tip. There's orange everywhere. All right, this is like a baby blue. Kind of nice. This is kind of nice too. I think I'm gonna go with the blue. Am I recording this? No guts, no glory. I give myself a day just to sort of sleep on it and then come back and look at this with fresh eyes and see how I felt about it. Because when I finished it, I was not happy with it. When I come back and look at it now, actually, I still hate it. The process was kind of nice at some points, but it was just sort of frustrating to me. I think I sort of romanticized the idea of working traditionally, and there's this like, I don't know, at least for me in my background, the idea of working traditionally, some people see as more valuable or something like that. And it's kind of nonsense. You know, they're all just tools, and I can create better art when I'm working digitally. Not because I'm cheating, but because I can do stuff that I can't do traditionally. I've dialed in the tools. I have more practice. So, I guess the good thing is I've done this, I'm disappointed in it, and I know how to make it better, and I can do that when I work on my iPad like I always do. So I'm excited about the next step. I'm not excited about you seeing this piece and it looking like I can't draw with traditional tools, but it is what it is. Let's get the iPad. Already I'm enjoying this so much more. It's just so nice to just have the perfect marks that I'm trying to make, having the flexibility to zoom in and out and just get everything just the way I want it. Like, part of the enjoyment for me is making it look exactly how I want it to look. Working this way allows me to do that so much easier because I can just do little things like tweak my brush a little bit, adjust what I'm doing. You know, I can see the merit in like working with what you have traditionally, and that is a challenge on its own. I give myself limitations when I'm working digitally. Like, I tend to stick with roughly the same brush size for certain things, and like I limit myself on colors. So for me, it's just the smoothest possible process, and it's just very enjoyable. And I like that I can just like iterate and tweak and adjust until it feels perfect, because I get frustrated when I make something and it doesn't look the way I want it to, and I can keep working to get it better. I also think working digitally helps me get better a lot faster because I was able to quickly iterate and like fix mistakes and tweak and try things much faster. You know, you draw something, you're like, this there's something weird about it. And you can quickly iterate on top of it and see, what you can adjust to make it look better. Whereas when you're working traditionally, you can do that by like kind of erasing and tracing over, but you're going to be a little bit more, careful about going through so many sheets of paper, or just, I just feel way more free to experiment because I could have infinity layers. I can just keep trying. I can undo, can do whatever. For me, it's about creating the best possible image of what I want it to be. And so the digital process is just perfect for that. For me. The vibiness of these letters and how they like flow together was something that bugged me about the other one because it wasn't perfect. And not that I need it to be absolutely perfect, but I just really like how they flow together. And when I'm working digitally, I can like draw the shapes and fill them in and then kind of go back in here and just sort of like erase the in-between of the shapes to just sort of make them flow together in just like a really fluid way that has the vibes I'm trying to capture. I found when I was doing this with the markers, I couldn't really get the expression that I wanted to with some of the characters just because I was limited in size. Like they're a little bit small. And even though I'm not using like a tiny brush here, just that like ability to zoom in a little bit and just kind of fine tune and tweak can really create a little bit more humor or expression or feeling. And that is, very important to my work. And this allows me to do that. All right, so I got the line work done and I feel so much better about it. It's just so much cleaner and tighter. The characters are way more expressive. And now I can color. Obviously, I limited myself because I used the markers that I had, but I don't love the colors on the other piece. And for me, it's hard to like pick colors ahead of time. Sometimes I'll try to make my life easier and like pick a palette that I'm going to use for an illustration, and then I put it on, or I like use it, and then I'm like, oh, I don't like this color palette at all. So for me, I find that I need to like do the color and see it with the actual illustration and then kind of adjust from there. And as you can see here, I switched the colors a lot. And that's the beauty of this. I can change them as much as I want and it's not gonna affect things. I can just adjust things a little bit at a time until I feel just right about it. So I ended up with a color palette that I was pretty happy with and then decided to just kind of go in and add a little bit of shadow since I'm working digitally, and that's a very easy thing to do. I just used a light purple, actually the same purple in that banner, on a layer and turned it to multiply, and then I just could do it on all the different colors to just get a subtle little shadow, and then I brought the opacity down a little bit just to give it a little bit more life. And to me, when I look at this finished piece in comparison to the hot trash that I made on paper, I gotta say there's no comparison. I don't know what I got from this. I do know that I really enjoy working digitally. It works well for me with ADHD and like not being able to like plan too much and focus and really being able to improvise. I don't know. How do you work? Do you work traditionally? You work digitally? Do you like one better than the other? Are you surprised how bad the other one was? Because I am. I thought it was going to be better. If I'm being honest, I thought. Did you know I recently painted a giant mural with real paint? Have you seen that video? If you haven't seen that video, you should check that out because I go from concept to everything. Check out that video. I think this has been a good talk. Smash the thumbs on the way out. Like and subscribe. Ring bells. Do all the YouTube stuff. You're my best friend. Okay, good talk. Thanks.